Alrighty, good morning. It is just me today, going a little bit earlier than we normally do, but thank you for joining. Got a little bit different background for you today, where I'm located currently. Some of this news may not be a full hour today. Got a meeting a little bit later on, so we're readjusting a few things here and there. We got some things coming this weekend that we're going to tell you about. I'm going to post it on our socials as well. But a couple of things I wanted to get into was first a new Senate legalization bill. So following the introduction of the Cannabis Administration Opportunity Act this past week, some of y'all have heard about, the Senate Subcommittee on Criminal Justice and Counterterrorism held its first hearing on a bill this week, just past a couple days ago. Since the subcommittee is chaired by Senator Cory Booker, a Democrat out of New Jersey, a co-sponsor of the bill, it seems likely that the measure will be reported to the full Senate Jurisdiction Committee. Which happens after that? Elections looming. Coming to the end of the 117th Congress meeting very soon. All this is in the air. It's very less clear as to what happened, what might not happen. We'll have to wait and see. Now, something else interesting, too. Advertising. The House passed the fiscal year 2023 Financial Services and General Government Appropriations Bill this week. Seems like a dull story, right? Even to the most avid of these policies, still. However, as we discussed not too long ago, one of the bill's provisions would allow cannabis advertising on radio and television. Now that's a big deal. To be able to go into the advertising on those two sectors means a whole lot. So that's where we're going to kind of look at it. Now, in the Senate, Senator Ben Ray Lujan introduced the Secure Fair Enforcement. Of course, we know that as the Safe Banking Act, but this is going to be the Advertising Act. Do the same thing. So we're going to have to see which way this ends up going. Now, if we can get the advertising, which we know is now part of MLB in multiple locations, if we can get advertising on TV and radio, now, internet radio kind of happens. We're talking mainstream. We're talking your top stations throughout the nation, nationally. Podcasts can do it, of course, because it's the internet, so it's not regulated under the FCC the same way. But if we can get this in the middle of primetime television, main events, sporting events, this would be absolutely fantastic, huge. Think of this. I saw the other day that the NFL for this upcoming Super Bowl in January has already sold 82% of its advertisement slots at $6 million for 30 seconds. $6 million for 30 seconds. We're 7 months away from having that event. 80% of the advertising is already sold out. Last year, I think they said 90% of the advertisement was sold out by September 15th. So if we could advertise and have a cannabis commercial during that event, how big, how massive, how many people would that reach? And how much would that go for? Would some of these cannabis companies be willing to spend $8, $9, $10 million to get multiple ads or longer than 30 seconds? Think about that one. So we're going to go a little bit into research. This week, we also saw the House bill pass to allow a research into effects and the benefits of cannabis consumption. Granted, we're still on and off descheduling, still Schedule 1, but with the House allowing research into the effects and the benefits of it, consumption of cannabis, that is a big, big factor, a big start to be able to go forward. The Medical Marijuana and Cannabinoid Research Expansion Act passed with bipartisan support, so both sides of the aisles agreed. Both sides of the aisle said yes. The bill's language closely tracks that of the bill already passed in the Senate, so this could move quick. This could be railroaded into a very, very fast movement. We'll have to see. How about this, South Dakota now? So not all of the action's happening on Capitol Hill right now. It's not happening in the Senate and going forth there. South Dakota, the first medical marijuana dispensary opened its doors this past week. Unity Road is the first dispensary in the state not on tribal land. part of a franchise with other locations in Colorado and Oklahoma. So it's got backing, it's got support, it's got the resources already needed to keep going forward. This is big because it's the first dispensary that's not on tribal land. I'm not sure how many are on tribal land currently in South Dakota, but this could be a big, big thing going forward. So we'll have to see which way that goes, how that ends up working. Now, this is an interesting story. We've all heard of the Aurora Borealis, right, up in the north. Australia recently, Mildura, Australia, they had a pink glow in the sky. Now, a lot of people talk about UFOs, alien invasion, whatever, right? End of the world? No. It's a medical marijuana growing facility which is using a new equipment, and they'll say the window shades were left open, and a reporter is actually calling it Aurora marijuanas. Now, how this happened, I don't know. I'd like to know, how were you able, just by leaving the windows open, were you able to see a pink glow in the sky? Very interesting. I'm sure the image looks great. I got to find an image because we've all heard like we said, the Aurora Borealis and what it does in the northern sky up there in Alaska, and we've seen the images. It looks great. So they're using a new equipment. They leave the window shades open, and it actually gives a glow throughout the sky. And we're looking at it there. They're actually saying that it was a pink glow, not a green glow, right? You would think green, but no, pink. So I've looked at the images of that. That's really unique. Now, we've talked before on this show about what causes you to have the munchies after ingestion, right? We've got an individual, Chris, and I don't have Chris's last name right here, but Chris was born and raised in Brooklyn. Love for pizza was deeply rooted, as a lot of people in the New York, Chicago area especially. But it wasn't until he embarked on the transformative, sorry, I'm saying that completely wrong, tongue-tied this morning, trip to California in 2015. His vision would take flight, and he moved forward on this big one. In the Golden State, he found himself attending cannabis-infused dinner. We've seen that in California, Colorado, New York. An experience that sparked a light bulb moment for him. He wanted to share his novel encounter with his fellow New Yorkers. Chris envisioned a unique fusion of private events, exceptional food, the perfect ambiance, and the presence of celebrities and cool guests. So here's what he did. With relentless determination, Chris brought his dream to life, introducing the world to Stoned Gourmet Cannabis Pizza. Trailblazing. Culinary sensation quickly became an instant hit and offered a delightful blend of flavors experience that pizza enthusiasts before had never encountered. Now, he says it's crafted with the finest ingredients and fused with a touch of cannabis magic. Each slice of Stoned Gourmet Cannabis Pizza delivers an unforgettable journey for the taste buds as well as the mind. This word spread of his innovative creation throughout New York. New Yorkers and visitors alike flocked to savor this irresistible combination of authentic pizza craftsmanship and the subtle effects of cannabis. Now, Stoned Gourmet Cannabis Pizza has not only redefined the pizza making industry, but also crafted a cultural phenomenon, blending culinary artistry with growing acceptance and the curiosity surrounding this cannabis-infused cuisine. Chris's vision approached his mindset to a new standard for innovation, providing the pursuit of passion and encouraged the challenge of convictions that led to groundbreaking success. So I would say if you're in New York City and you find yourself in that city that they say never sleeps, and I don't know his hours, but you'll find out, and you crave something unique, something different, try the Stoned Gourmet Cannabis Pizza. Chris has at least one location. I'll see if I can find out some more information on it. But they're saying that these flavors have revitalized New York's pizza scene forever and changed it. So, Chris, we'd love to talk with you more, possibly come up to New York. I haven't been in years. I miss it. Need to get back up there. Love to try your cannabis pizza. Love to have you on the show. So we'll reach out to him, see if we can get him on here, get some of his knowledge, some of his mindset, how he did it, why he did it, what it's about. Now, you've heard us talk sports from time to time here, and the NFL is right around the corner. Training camp started yesterday, actually. Many more reporting today and tomorrow. Now, the NFL continues to invest in studies about the cannabis effects and the pain management tool. Kansas City Chief tight end Travis Kelce, who we've heard of, Super Bowl last year, two-time Super Bowl champ, he believes majority of the players are using it. Just had a interview in Vanity Fair. Kelsey's estimating that anywhere from 50 to 80% of the players are using some form of cannabis. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't mean they're smoking it. This could be through oils. This could be through tincture. This could be through buckle, a gummy. It could be multiple things. So it doesn't mean smoking. It could mean some form of ingestion of the cannabis product. The 8-time Pro Bowler spoke about it and discussed how easy it is to pass the league's marijuana policy. If you just stop in the middle of July, you're fine. A lot of guys stop a week before and they still pass because nobody's working out in the heat and sweating their tails off. Nobody's really getting hit for it anymore because they're constantly out there doing 2-a-days, doing this heat, the pads, so it's getting out of their system, but it's helping in off-season. However, we've noticed that now that they're not directly testing for it. Now, if there is an accident, if there is something odd on the field that happens, yes, they still might be tested just like the NBA, but it's not like it was, for example, Ricky Williams, who's been an advocate for this for decades now. He got popped for it. We've seen other ones. So that's kind of changing. As part of the new collective bargaining agreement ratified in March of 2020, the NFL eliminated suspensions for positive testing. And the test period is limited to the first 2 weeks of training camp. So that's why Kelsey's saying it gets out of the system, we sweat it, it leaves. The league has also adjusted the threshold for a positive test from 35 to 150 nanograms of THC. So these players now are being able to ingest the THC in the product, have higher levels of admittance, so therefore it's not showing up in those positives and having that effect. The NFL's updated marijuana policy came as several states across the country either legalized the drug altogether or at least decriminalized the use of it. So being able to decrim it is definitely helping, definitely allowing it. And with that Senate bill we just saw where they're looking at the positives, hopefully we can get this completely eradicated. It'd be nice to say before the end of this year, anything's possible, especially with support from people, but we'll see what happens. Now, on February 1st, 2022, the NFL announced it was awarding $1 million in research funding to medical research teams at the University of California, San Diego, and the University of Virginia to investigate the effects of cannabinoids on pain management and the neuroprotection from concussions in elite football players, respectively. Now, keep in mind, and I don't know that he used it in any way, shape, or form, but Junior Seau, who played for the Chargers in San Diego, he was a huge discussion of what happens with CTs and the concussions, which has led to everything else, which is also helping, hopefully, with this research of cannabis and cannabinoid and what we can do to help these NFL players, rugby players, any sport, honestly. Last week, the league and the NFL Players Association committed $526,525 to independent medical researchers at the American Society of Pain and Neuroscience, ASPN, and Emory University. So now we have 4 different sectors studying the research, studying the pain management, and how it can help. The grants will be used to investigate initiative, the first of their kind alternative pain management methods that could benefit NFL players and society at large. So think how much that could help everyone, from our veterans, people with PTSD, and we've talked about how, last week we talked about in Ohio and other states, these 28 different things from chronic pain to Crohn's to HIV, all these different things that people are being allowed to use it. What if it, in these services, of this research is going to be able to show, hey, this is used for everybody, anywhere, anytime. It can benefit everyone. How much we can help society as a whole. One of the studies included the research investigation of the effects of CBD on concussion symptoms and mindfulness-based intervention in sports medicine injuries. Someone who hurts their ankle, tears an ACL, dislocates a joint. This could help across the board anybody, any injury, any sport. And of course, they're going to do it for day-to-day activities as well. But we've got to be able to get big things such as the NFL, NBA, these big organizations, get them to do the research to help filter down to everyday society. Now, Kelsey estimates the number of players who use cannabis is on the low end compared to previous estimates that have been made. Former tight end Bennett said that in 2018 he thought about 89% of NFL players were using it. So think about that. There's roughly 55 players per team at 32 teams. So I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say that, on the low end, let's say 400 NFL players, roughly. That's not including practice squad. We're talking NFL active players. So if you've got 400 at any given time, and 89% of those people are using it, that means roughly we only have about 75 people in the NFL that aren't using some shape or form. Now, a lot of people travel, whether it be for business, for recreation. Something new, spa CBD. Now you go to the spa, whether you're, like I said, you're going on a resort, you're going on business, even people just, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, clearing their minds, their stress. Upsells or enhancements, as they call it, they're often labeled on a spa menu, and we're used to the fact that it's used a lot in treatments, okay? It's an upsell, we get that. But there might be something a little different now. Chief among these upsells is the use of CBD oil, promoted as a way to help spa goers find deep relaxation and to relieve muscle tension. Craig Oliver, president and founder of Spas of America, says CBD has become so involved that it's featured in 80% of all luxury spas, including brands such as Marriott, Hilton, Rosewood, and the Mandarin Orient. And many of them charge $25 to $100 to swap in cannabinol for standard lavender or eucalyptus oils. On top of the cost of the treatment, they say that $30 for the CBD oil to enhance the experience. The push can be seen as important for several factors. First, there's a mainstream adoption now of CBD, which we know, which has helped the cannabis become a $27 billion global growth in the market, according to firms such as BDSA. There's also a fast-paced growth of wellness travel, which in itself is a $814 billion industry per Global Wellness Institute. And there's the new economic reality for luxury hotels, which in the aftermath of the pandemic learned to expand their margins with slimmer staffs. So markups on CBD oil are a prime way to capitalize on that profit. One spa director who has requested to stay anonymous because wasn't authorized to share such figures says that roughly 2 ounces of oil during a 60-minute CBD massage, which costs the spa roughly $4, the clients pay roughly $35. That's an upsell of 90%. So think about that. You as a hotel, you as a spa, if you're paying $4 per 2 ounces of this oil, this is used in a 60-minute spa, you're charging $35. A 90% profit margin off of these 2 ounces. Think about that. That's huge. And they're paying it. The therapists get a $5 commission. The resort takes $26 into the pure profit. So still, $26 added on top of each spa treatment. Now, not everybody's going to take that. We understand that. That's an additional $220 massage. That's a huge markup. That's a huge gain for these spas, for these hotels. According to Gregory Miller, vice president of lodging, According to leisure and wellness quality research at the truest societies, spas typically account for 5 to 10% of the resort's gross revenue. So if they're making 90% now off the, you got to think that number's going to go up. They could be the deciding factor when travelers are debating between resorts, and also a key reason for the return visit. Now, this resonates with one particular person, and that's Heather Stewart, spa director at Calvino Point, an urban resort lodge under the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Locals who have gotten massages here several times are more likely to try things with each visit. Stewart says that adding the $35 CBD oil is among her spa's top two of most popular enhancements. The other is a warm oil scalp treatment. For customers who pay for such upgrades, the extra charge can be worth it. According to Novelty, to be beloved indulgence or helping spa goers to reality truly unwind. For others, it's a stressful sticker shock. So I get that. Some people come in and all of a sudden $35 for a CBD oil, is it worth it? But the people who are doing it and buying it absolutely loved it, and that's a key reason why they're going back. April Snell says that when she visited a resort in her hometown of Colorado Springs, she didn't realize the warm oil hair and scalp treatment she had been offered mid-massage came with an additional charge. So a lot of people understand that, but that's why they got to be upfront, put on their menu, speak about it. They charged me an extra $25, but never made it clear that it was an upgrade. These type of offerings are everywhere. At Soluch, a resort in Napa Valley, you can pay $15 to add CBD balm to any treatment. At the Equinox Hotel in New York City, infusing your rub with CBD adds $35. It costs $65 to add CBD lotion massage rub at the St. Regis Aspen Resort. And the Ritz-Carlton on Amelia Island uses a CBD-infused bath as an extra reason to switch from a $255 $50 minute massage to a $485 100-minute massage. And it's also a way to try this new special soaking treatment. Most spa directors work with their staff to ensure such enhancements are presented clearly without pressure, so that experiences like Snell are very, very rare. They state that our therapists are trained never to be pushy and to put the guest experience first and foremost. Tracy Harper, director of Spa and Wellness Center at the Sun Valley Resort in Idaho, although some enhancements may be suggested during the massage, she explains that such an additional of a $105 body wrap to help the guest moisturize their dry skins. Most of these times, these extras are suggested before the treatment begins. Lisa, a data expert from Phoenix, says that her experience during a recent visit to the Spa Grand American Hotel in Salt Lake City, I was just going in for a regular massage, but decided to add CBD for an extra $30. She says adding that the spa was clear and upfront about the fee, and it was well worth it. Also says that she looked over the spa's service ahead of time so she wouldn't have any surprises or any upsells that she wasn't aware of. Recommends that people do this. It's a great to browse the menu before your service to know what to expect. And don't worry about telling your therapist up front if when I say therapist, we're talking about massage therapists, of course. Up front if you're not interested in enhancements. So be forthright and coming as the spa goer, what you're looking for, what you're not interested in. Offering a unique and expansive menu of services allows those to tailor the experience to their needs for each guest. Morgan Hill, the spa manager at the Relash Spa, a Gaylord Opry Resort in Nashville, where CBD oil can be added to a 50-minute massage for an extra $35. As she puts it, wellness should not only be a one-size-fits-all, it should be for everybody, and enhancements and upsells. So it's really interesting that, hey, CBD is now using in the spa world. Think of how much that can help people when you're getting that and it's going in, because a spa is great. A massage is great. But for a lot of people, those effects only last for about 30 minutes or 45 minutes afterwards. The CBD could go in and last for 2 to 3 hours after it. So that could be absolutely fantastic for all of these people. You've got something that's going to last, something that's going to enhance and move throughout your experience as a whole, not just during that short time frame, even though that's important to help relax the muscles, to help relax the mind. CBD could be amazing in your mental health and your physical health. So those were a few of the things that we wanted to touch on today. Like I said, I know this show's going to be a little bit shorter since it was just me this morning. I hope that we have touched on a few things, even though it was kind of quick, that would definitely help people. One thing that I want to mention here in the Atlanta area, we're going to post this later. This week in Atlanta, this weekend actually, there is a puff and paint art therapy. We're going to have information on it. It's going to be CBD City East Point. There is a charge. It is $40 for the tickets. It'll be from 7 to 9 p.m. This, like I said, we will put this up on our social media on both Twitter, Instagram, as well as our foundation page. Love to see you guys out there. Veterans and PTSD individuals will enjoy complimentary seating with RSVP. So for those individuals that are veterans or have PTSD, when you go, get your ticket, reserve the ticket. They will have special seating for you guys. Like I said, we will have that up on our pages. So myself, I'm going to be there. Chris Brown, who has been on the show before, he will be there as well. So we look forward to seeing all of you guys there. Those in the Atlanta area, I will have that up here this afternoon so that you can have time to get your tickets. This sounds like something that would be absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out there. And we'll be back to our normal time next Wednesday at 11 p.m. Guys, may you have a blessed week, a safe week. I look forward to what's going to happen the rest of this year. We got a lot to cover because, the elections are coming up and we are going to delve into that. We just haven't done it yet. But me personally, like I said before, you can reach out to me at DJMQ both on Twitter and Instagram. And may you guys all have a blessed, safe week. Stay cool. We got several hot days and the hot days of August coming up. But we're almost in fall. Can you imagine that? We have 7 months basically gone now out of the year. That's going to be 2024 before we know it. So everybody, stay safe, stay blessed.